Hey, what is up, y'all? Welcome to Game Day here at Heavy Cardboard. Today, as you can see here, we got Aeons End, Past and Future, designed by Sydney Engelstein, Nick Little, Kevin Riley, published by Indie Boards and Cards. Indie Boards and Cards also was kind enough to sponsor the playthrough and provide us with the prototype. There's going to be a little bit of stuff. You're going to see like one little tiny change we're going to have to do to the components because prototype. But other than that, everything is from Outcast, which is actual production version, and then prototype of Past and Present. If you are so inclined, check out the Kickstarter link down below. Otherwise, welcome everybody watching live around the world, as well as after the fact. I'm looking forward to this. There is a little bit of spoilers I want to go ahead and mention. I mean, obviously it's an expansion, so we're going to be showing that, and it's narrative, so there's a little bit of that. However, I made the command decision to not spoil any of the Nemesis or Nemesi. Anyway, the bad guys from the expansion, either past or future. And what I chose to do is use a spoiler from Outcasts so that we're using some of the new stuff but on an old bad guy. But if you haven't gone through Outcast, then there's going to be a little bit of spoiler. I hope that makes sense, and I'm trying to be considerate for everybody. Outcast has been out for a couple of years. It's still pretty new to me, but for y'all out there, I thought that was the best way to handle that, all right? Plus, for Past and Present, you don't get a new Nemesis until you're a fair bit into the campaign anyways, and I don't want to mess that up for y'all. So hopefully that's okay with everybody. That said, I did choose Thief of Dreams for today's Nemesis, which looks terrifying. I've yet to play against him, and it looks really ugly and going to be difficult. That said, if y'all are ready, I am going to teach the overview of how to play Aeons End, and then I'm going to highlight basically kind of two of the changes that are in this. Y'all voted. We're going to do future, and my patrons voted future, so that's what we're going to do. All right? So y'all are ready. I'm as ready as we're going to be. Let's go ahead and get into Past and Present, shall we? All right, what is it y'all are looking at? Well, first and foremost, we have Naftir. That's us. He's from the new, we've moved on from Kel, and we've moved on to Naftir. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I've been playing a fair bit of Elden Ring, and this feels like one of the spirit ashes that you can summon, and it felt appropriate. So that's why I chose what I did. All right, we'll go through what he has and all his special stuff as we go along. So we have us. We have our starting hand of cards, our starting deck. We have our breaches up here, and Gravehold essentially starts with 30 health. All right, we're going to lose if that reaches 0. Okay, we have our supply. Our supply is basically including some of the cards that you would get if you've made it into the story for Thief of Dreams. That's what I've chosen to do, as well as some of the new cards. So we have our supply. We have the timer, or the turn order deck, I should say. We have 4 of our turns, and we have 2 Nemesis turns. The 2 Nemesis turns, a regular Nemesis turn, and a Thief of Dreams Delirium turn. We'll cover that when we talk about the Nemesis. Nemesis, that is his main card that has his rules and basically how we run him. We have the Thief deck, which basically has taken almost all of our entire supply, okay? And then the Thief track, or the Dream track here as well. And part of setup is Unleashing twice, which is drawing 2 there. Then we have the Thief of Dreams Nemesis deck as well as their play area, and 80 hit points. We have the cursed deck that may or may not come into play as we go. And yes, technically the past one, when I looked at it when I was setting up, the future was leading, and the patrons also chimed in with that. That's why we went with future. All right, so that's what you're looking at. Now, how is it you actually play Aeon's End? Well, it's pretty straightforward, to be honest with y'all. So, to do so, the first thing you're going to do is we are going to flip over. We're going to shuffle up the turn order deck. And if it's our turn, we do a player's turn. If it's a Nemesis turn, either of those, we're going to do a Nemesis turn. Pretty straightforward in that regard. But on a player turn, if we have any spells prepped, we may cast anything that is in open breaches, and we must cast anything that is in closed breaches. Okay, pretty straightforward. Then we discard. Then after that, we can do mix and match as many of these as we want, as we can, and just do those things. It's really straightforward. Play a card, a gem or a relic card, which is going to get us Aether, and either gain a card with that Aether, gain a charge with that Aether, focus a breach with that Aether, or open a breach with that Aether. So pretty straightforward on that, and I'll go over that in detail as we're playing. But again, this is just going to be an overview of the base rules. And we can prep a spell to the breach. So get ready to, next time we take a turn, do that. Okay. Or we can resolve any of those effects in any cards that are in play. Pretty straightforward. Okay, good. After that, and this is kind of the hook in this game, our deck and our discards are never shuffled. You play things, when you cast spells, those immediately go into the discard. Then any cards that we play are going to come into our played area over here. We choose the order in which we discard these then, because then we're going to be getting a preceded deck that we have chosen the order in which those go. When we purchase new cards, those go into our discard deck immediately after purchasing, but before the cards that we've used to purchase them go into our discard. After we've done that, you never can discard a card. You may play a card and maybe not use it for waste the Aether, if you will, because that never carries forward from turn to turn. But you can never discard a card just to discard it. So then you draw back up to 5 cards and boom, draw a new turn order card. If it's your turn again, then hey, we do this. If not, it's a Nemesis card. Pretty simple. From oldest to newest, resolve an effect of any minion or power card. So they're going to have a series of cards out here. We go left to right. Now, one thing I've learned in my plays of this is it's really easy to forget the next step. You get so tied up with the stuff going on here, you forget this. So what we're going to do today, which is the draw phase, the first thing we're going to do, take a card, put it face down out here. Then we're going to resolve any of these left or right, and then we flip over the new card and do whatever it says. That way we ensure we don't forget the draw phase. Do those, and then, hey, if we ever become exhausted means we lose all our hit points. Then we're going to do whatever this says. Pretty straightforward on that. That's bad. Normally, this can be played co-op with multiple mages. I choose to play it solo, true solo, which is just one mage. Whenever we see something that says ally, that means us as well, okay? And also, normally, you lose the game when all your mages become exhausted. Not in true solo. When we lose all our hit points, if we do, we become exhausted, do this. Otherwise, we only lose with that, okay? So now, let's go and talk about some of the new stuff that is in this game. First and foremost, let's look at some the market, and this is going to inform some of the new mechanisms, which really, we only have, I think, 1 or 2 of the new mechanisms in our game. So in our market, there are 3 different types of cards. The first ones that are up here are gems, okay? So, Molten Peridot is from the beginning of Outcast, so that's pretty straightforward. It costs 3 to purchase, 3 Aether. Vigorous Sandstone is something that you'll get unlocked when you make it up to 2A in Outcast, and I've chosen to use that, okay? So this one is in play as well. Splintered Garnet is from past and present, so it's from the expansion. So you'll notice that it has two costs up here. It has a normal cost, and then down at the bottom, it has a develop cost, all right? The develop cost, these cards go into a develop zone that certain player cards can enter. During the player's turn, they can develop a card by paying its develop cost if it's in the supply or if we've already put it into our develop zone, okay? Now, I should point out, yeah, moving on, sorry. You pay the develop cost and it goes into the develop zone. Then, whenever you develop it, when you develop this card, destroy a gem that you played this turn. Pretty straightforward on that, okay? So it goes to the develop zone. After that, then you can pay that cost again and do that action again, and then it goes straight into, you gain the card at that point, okay? Now, I do want to point out that, let me find them. Oh no, what did I do with Ona? A moment, I lost one of our characters. All right, so Ona will show it this way. I can't find her card. She has the develop action. Our character does not, okay? So we're just going to purchase it normally, but I wanted to at least explain it, that you basically pay that cost twice, then you get it, but you get to do that each time. So we're just worried about the top one, and you get the 3 Aether, okay? All right, excellent. All right, so that is that one. And if you move on down to the bottom, there's another one here that also has that, all right? That develop cost on it as well. So, that said, we're not gonna worry about it for today, but I wanted to at least point it out to everybody. And you know what? I will go ahead and show you all these as well. So Shoshona, she basically allows extra turns for the players. Bailey allows you to get cards or get spells and recast them. That's awesome. And Reese is a little bit complex. He's kind of a steampunky android, if you will. So he is available as well. All right. But again, because of Elden Ring, I chose Naftir. All right. All right. So there's also a swap mechanism that allows basically when cards are out here, you get them, you bring in new swapped cards, but we're not playing with that either tonight. All right. And if we were playing in the past, we would have knowledge tokens, which would allow you to do certain things. But again, that's not in play today either. But let's go ahead and talk about what is in play, and that is with Naftir, we have Link. All right. All right. Before, let's go ahead and move this stuff over so I can show y'all these. So it says Naftir's one breach is the consuming breach. Spells cast from the consuming breach are not discarded. Place spells cast from the consuming breach underneath it. When you place a third spell, not a fourth, because prototype, so it's actually 3, but when we place a third spell underneath the breach, we're going to cause 3 damage to something, either a minion or the Nemesis out there, and then discard all the cards beneath the consuming breach in any order. So that's going to have to do with this. But then there's Amplify. So Amplify here is whenever we have filled here all of our tokens down here at the bottom. It says place a link token on any open breach. Well, we only have one open breach to begin with, but we can either place one of these link tokens up there, or we can cast all the spells that are prepped to one breach with a link token on it. And it says here, a link token allows 2 spells to be prepped to the breach it is on. So it basically works as kind of a double breach. All right. Only one link token can be placed on a given breach. So it's going to allow us to cast a whole bunch of stuff all at once. All right? All right, cool? All right, easy enough. So those are the things that are in play for us today. Get our health back out here. And then we'll go ahead and talk about the Thief of Dreams and how ugly he is. I mean, not like aesthetically ugly, just how mean he is, if you will. Get everything out of the way, and then we'll get started. All right, so the Thief of Dreams has 80 hit points. We are not doing this because I think I'm going to struggle enough with that as is. Unleash. It says draw a card from the Dream deck and place it in space 1 of the Dream mat. All right, the beginning, the setup here says replace Nemesis turn order with Delirium turn order card. Hey, we've already done that. Okay, good. Set the Dream mat next to this Dream mat, or next to this mat. Good. Then, set aside 4 copies of each relic and spell from each relic and spell supply pile. So that's relic and spell. Well, those are spells. So basically, I have 1 of all of those cards. And then 6 copies of each gem from the supply, except for the one with the lowest cost. So the Molten Peridot, the Molten Peridot has the entire normal deck. All of the others have a single card of them. Why? Because they're all shuffled in here. Then it says shuffle it to form the Dream deck. Place the deck next to the Dream mat and then unleash twice, which we've already done, which is flip 2 of those over. Okay? Pretty straightforward so far. So now let's go ahead and talk about what he does. When the Delirium turn order card is drawn, in other words, the Nemesis one, when we draw that card, unleash, meaning draw another card out here. So, and these will just slide along in that order, okay? There are 6 spots for them. When a new card, and then Nemesis takes a turn as normal. So again, as soon as they take a turn, we're gonna draw one of those cards out so we don't forget. When a new card is placed, hey, slide everything, okay. When a supply card is pushed to 6, place it at the bottom of the Dream deck. And the Dream deck is pretty thick. It's all my spells, relics, and gems, right? And the player suffers 2 damage. So in other words, I'm going to become exhausted after 5 cards make it to 6. That's bad. Cards in the Dream mat are considered part of the supply. However, when effects refer to the supply, it's not referring to the Dream mat. Okay. During any player's main phase, we can spend 3 Aether to destroy a supply card on the Dream mat. Any of them. So, spend 3 Aether to destroy one of those. So it slows that down. And, well, we'll get there. When there are no supply cards on the Dream mat, unleash, meaning draw a card. So there's always going to be a card on their turn, okay? If the Dream deck is empty and there are no supply cards on the Dream mat, we win. That is one of the ways we win. Another way we win is kill all 80 hit points. And the third way that we win is we may survive through this deck and there are no powers and minions out there. So there are 3 ways to win today. Only one way to lose, but all right, anyway. When a player becomes exhausted, okay, Gravehold suffers 5 damage instead of unleashing twice. So, skip the top part and instead Gravehold takes 5 damage. Then destroy a breach, then discard all of our charge tokens, which are down there at the bottom if we have any, and finally, deal excess damage going forward to Gravehold. Anytime I would take damage, do double the damage to Gravehold. Okay? Just brutal. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about our hand, and then we get started. We'll go through the narrative and stuff. So we start with, as it says here, 4 crystals and 1 Vorpal Fang. So 3 crystals. I started with the treasure gem because there are upgrade cards in the Nemesis deck, so I went ahead and gave myself the gem, the treasure gem. And finally, the Vorpal Fang says, when you cast, if this was cast from Naftir's Consuming Breach, deal 2 damage, otherwise deal 1 damage. So that's our only open breach. But remember, it doesn't get discarded. It just goes in there. So we're going to need to be able to get more spells ASAP. All right. We will shuffle this up. I'll bring up the cameras, and I'll go ahead and read some theme, shall we? So I want you all attached to Naftir, so I'm going to go ahead and we'll cut there, okay? All right, so let's go ahead. I know I did this earlier, but that's all right. I'll bring up the cameras. Well, y'all don't need to see me read. Here we go. Spending time in the void changes a person. It twists them deep down, and they never untwist. The air there, it sinks into you, into your blood, into your bones, into the very essence of your being, and it brings out the monster that was lurking underneath. I've never been to the void, and yet, even still, it has left its teeth in me. My great-great-grandfather, his name still lingers like black smoke over our society, Zaxos. The man who let the void corrupt him and become the very monster he sought to destroy. A monster like that does not simply disappear. It settles it settles in, makes a home for itself from generation to generation. My grandmother had fangs. My father has claws. And when I was born, my mother cried in relief that finally, here was a child of Zaxos redeemed, human again. But the void is not such an easy thing to escape. I feel it every day, circling, waiting to bring out the monster that has always lurked inside me. All right. So hopefully we succeed. All right, so the future narrative book. Here we go, okay? Is that true? I don't think so. Let me double check. Oh, there it is. There we go. You are correct. You are 100% correct. So, let me fix that. I put that in the wrong spot. Starting crystal. The gem goes in, so it should be 3 crystals. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 sparks. Good call. All right, all fixed. Here we go. So pre-fight 1. All right. So it says to begin the future campaign, open envelope 1. Envelope future 1 and deck future 1A. And this would be a good point to point. These are all of the future stuff there. This is all of the past decks that you get in the expansion. And the last one. And obviously the production version will be not in these, but past 1, past 2A, 2B, 3, 4, and then obviously we're playing with future 1, 2A, 2B, 3, and 4. So you get a ton of content in this, and there's also the past narrative book as well. All right, so all that said, settle in, let's get comfy. Here we go. Stuck with babysitting duty? Shoshana looks away from her little cousin, from where her little cousin is kicking her feet in the river and sees her friends, Bailey and Naftir, waking up behind her. There we go. Their welcome respite from the dull drone of the muggy spring morning. Although Shoshana is pretty sure they aren't meant to be here. I thought you had patrol duty, Naftir. I hate patrol. Naftir collapses into the soft grass beside her, sending up a puff of dust and pollen. Nothing ever happens. I'll trade you patrol for meal prep, Bailey counters, digging her toe viciously into a clump of dirt. At least on patrol, you have a chance to see something cool. Maybe fight a monster. If I have to spend another 3 hours cleaning tubers, I'm going to set the mess hall on fire. I promise you. Shoshana pales just a bit. Let's not joke about that. The last thing Sustin needs is homemade troubles. At least it means something would be happening. Could you try and be quiet for once in your life? Naftir hisses, glaring up from the ground. I'm hiding from Reese, and he's probably got some super advanced robot ears or something. Not that he'd need them, since you apparently don't have a setting below Banshee. You little... Guys, please, let's not fight. Shoshana scrambles up and grabs Bailey's hand to stop her before she can do anything permanent to Naftir. Sometimes, Shoshana is forced to admit that even though her best friends, the three of them don't exactly get along. But they're the only people in Sustin under the age of 40 aside from Harmony, and she's the toddler currently entertaining herself by slapping a mud puddle. So they make do. Sustin is a tiny village just south of the tribes that live in the ruins of New Gravehold. Hashtag spoiler. And north of the ancient settlement of Azer. The stories say that the crumbling stone ruin the village is centered around used to be a gigantic watchtower, even taller than the trees. Apparently, the ancestors used to keep watch from the top of it and track the patterns of roving Nameless. Now, the close-packed forest and warding glyphs are used to keep the village safe, and the tower itself is nothing but a memory. You know, Bailey says, breaking the slightly charged silence they've fallen into. Back in the day, mages didn't even have to do all these chores, like cooking and cleaning and gem carving. We used to be respected. New Gravehold used to be like 20 times as big as our town, and normal people would just give money to anyone strong enough and brave enough to risk their life. I risk my life constantly, and I still have to shift. I still have a shift pulling laundry. It ain't right. The difference is, nobody asks you to risk your life. You just do it for fun because someone dropped you a few too many times as a baby, Naftir says, sticking his tongue out at Bailey. There you are. The group turns to see Reese cresting over the ridge and staring down at him. The bronze machinery knit into his skin reflects the sun as he stomps down the hill towards him. Naftir pales and ducks behind Shoshana, but it's far too late. Don't try and hide from me, young man. We're 2 hours late for patrol. I've been looking for you everywhere. Naftir rests his hands on Shoshana's shoulders and peeks around her. What's the point? The glyphs keep the Nameless away. The glyphs keep most of the Nameless away. Reese makes noises as he walks, a scraping sound of metal on metal, the clinking of gears, little bursts of air as the pistons in his knee release their pressure. It's our duty to handle the rest. Why do you think breach magic is so important? Naftir's grip tightens on Shoshana's shoulders. Because otherwise, all the darkness will be built up inside without an outlet and consume me from the inside out. Perhaps for you, Reese said, shaking his head. But mostly, we do it to defend against Nameless! Bailey shouts. There's a loud crack as the tree line splits, and the group whirls around to see a giant monster stampeding towards them. Stay calm, children. Reese grabs a gadget out of his pocket and throws it at the ground, where it immediately expands up into a swirling blue breach. This is what we've trained for. So then we randomize, da-da-da-da-da, okay, boom, ready to rock and roll. So that, folks, is our setting for today. Oops, stole a card. All right, y'all ready? Place your bets. Over under 4.5 Glory to Realms. And are we going Naftir or are we going Thief of Dreams? Don't be a monster. That's all I'm saying. All right. Cheers, y'all. And I'm just curious. Do y'all enjoy the theme and the setting on all that stuff? Or am I just boring y'all to tears? I'm curious because I feel like it kind of sets the tone of everything. So, anyway, I think it was good. I like it. All right. So, we ready? Here we go. All right, our turn. Our turn consists of, well, we have nothing to cast, so we can do all of those things. Okay, pretty straightforward. Good. So we have 4 crystals, which gain us 4 aether, and we have the Vorpal Fang, which is a spell. We'll go ahead and prep our spell. So we'll go up there. Okay, so that'll cast next turn if we wanted to. Okay, all right. And our hand of cards, right there, we have 4 crystals left. And I'll go and bring the camera up there as well. There we go. All right, so we'll go ahead and play all 4 of them. Now, we kind of went over the what we have out here, but right there. So Molten Peridot gains us 2 aether, and then if we have multiple, it'll gain us extra, right? Extra cards, so that's good. Splinter Garnet we can't afford, but it's going to gain us 3 aether, and the Vigorous Sunstone. When you gain this, if it's the second card you gain this turn, place it into your hand, and then we can play it to gain 3 aether. That seems pretty awesome, but we need a lot of aether, more than we have right now. So that is the top row. The middle row, again, we have 4. Chose the Carnivorous Rue? Yeah, let's go Rue. Gain 1 aether. You can destroy a card in your hand to gain aether equal to its cost, or destroy the Carnivorous Rue, and focus your Closed Breach with the lowest focus cost twice. So that means focus, or once that gets to the top, that's it, and it allows us to cast stuff. That seems like a really good card, so that's why I included it. The Destiny Forger, same as we had last time. An ally, or we, may destroy a card in hand. That player can gain a card costing up to 2 more than the destroyed card, and then place it into their hand. Or destroy it and gain 2 charges. Charges are at the bottom, which allows us to cast extra spells, right? All right. Then the Fortified Frost, deal 2 damage, discard a card, make it 3 damage. So that is the middle row. And the bottom row, we got some spending stuff for our spells. 3 damage. If it's empty, which it's going to be as soon as I take it, that's going to actually be 4 damage. That seems like a pretty great card for us. Okay. Then 5 damage, and if you have no Closed Breaches, gain a charge. Cool. All right. But you'll notice cost 4, 6, and 7, respectively. Tethered Smite. Deal 5 damage divided however we want between the Nemesis and any number of minions. So anything that comes out here as well as Nemesis itself. But it costs 7. So there's that. Well, I mean, we could do this a couple different ways, right? We could go ahead and get the Destiny Forger, which allows us to thin our deck. The problem, we need to be careful thinning our deck too much, because there is exactly 1 copy of everything out here except for the Molten Peridot. So need to be careful about thinning our deck too much. And you know what? The fact that it's just the straight up 4 damage, let's go ahead, purchase that. It does not matter the order that these go in, because same card, boom. That's it. Now we draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom. 2 sparks, 2 crystals, and then we have our Rhea's Planar Pocket, which that says that here is gain an aether, gain an additional aether that can be only used to gain a relic. And again, the relic, it's basically the same as a crystal, but it's going to allow us a little bit extra oomph to gain those 2 cards, because those are the only 2 that we can gain, right? Because there's 1 copy of it. All right. So that's the end of our first turn. Nemesis. All right. First thing, we do that. Well, there isn't that, so we draw. Okay, easy enough. So remember, the first thing we're going to do is just get in the habit. We're going to go ahead and put that card out. Okay? So, Deluge of Magic. Power 3. So we're going to put 3 power counters on it. Oops. There we go. When those come off, then we are going to trigger whatever that is. It says, reveal the top 4 cards of the dream deck. Place 2 of the revealed cards on the bottom of the dream deck. Return the rest to the top of the deck in any order, and then draw 2 cards. Unleash twice. Okay. So, for those that have played this, since I'm new to the Thief of Dreams, why does it matter what cards are out here? Now, oh, wait a minute. When a supply... Oh, these are part of the supply. That's why. So we can purchase those cards. I'm an idiot. Aha! All right, or we can destroy them for 3 Aether. There we go. All right, so Nemesis is done. Our turn. I anticipated. All right, so what do we got? We got, first off, cast. We may cast because it's in an open breach. I see no reason not to, so let's go ahead and do that, shall we? So, Vorpal Fang, we cast it. If it's cast from the Consuming Breach, which it is, deal 2 damage. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these, you know what? I'm going to do it this way. Because space is kind of tight and we're not going to have anything over here. When there's 3 cards up here, then that's going to trigger. So we do 2 damage. Hey, making a difference. 78. Woot. All right, good. All right. All right, so we could prep a spark if we want. We have 1, 2, 3 Aether, or we could gain another 4th Aether if we want to gain one of those relics. And you know what? I think that seems like a pretty decent idea. We could also purchase those. We can't. No, we can't. Grr. We could destroy one of those cards as well. I really hate the idea of doing that. But we also know, we got a couple turns till anything happens with that, but obviously, it's going to draw another card. Yeah. No. We're going to go ahead and go and grab one of those cards. So the question is, which do we want? I'm thinking we go... I think we go Destiny Forger to start out with. And next time we draw it, we could always destroy it to be able to get either a Tornado of Insight or possibly one of those. Is that worth it? I think so. All right. So yeah, I think we'll go ahead and do that. So we're going to spend 1, 2, 3, and because we're choosing to get a relic, that's actually 4 there. We'll go ahead and prep one of the sparks, and that spark stays in our hand. We'll put that on top, then those, and then that spark has to stay in our hand. And now we have to draw our hand back up, 4 cards. There. There we go. All right, cool. Our turn, so now there's a 50-50 shot on the last 2 right there. Okay, all right. So we have, first off, let's go ahead and cast it. There's no reason not to. So deal 1 damage. There we go, done. And now, I think we go ahead and prep the Twisted Fang. That's going to deal 4 damage because supply is empty for it, so yay. 3 damage plus 1 because it's empty. And we have 3 Aether. Now, we could destroy one of those cards or we get our engine going. And honestly, I think we go ahead and grab a Molten Peridot there. And we can't prep that. It's just kind of cluttering our hand right now, but we're going to be able to destroy it here sooner rather than later. Draw 4 cards and done. All right, 50-50 shot. That's us. All right. So now we have 2 Aether. Oh, back up. First things first, we cast If We Wish, and we do. So we will do that. It's 4 damage. 73. Seems easy right now. I assure you I'm going to get smoked here in a little bit. So what do we got? We got gain 1 Aether, gain an Aether, gain an Aether, and if we want, we could spend it to gain a relic. Well, there's no relics out here yet. There is that, so we don't really need... This is just a gain 1 Aether, so we have 3 Aether there. Okay, and all those, you'll notice, cost 0. The Destiny Forger says any ally, us, can destroy a card in hand. That player may gain a card that costs up to 2 more than the destroyed card, place it into their hand. Well, that would be a cost of 2, and there are no 2s in our game today. Or we could destroy this, gain 2 charges, or destroy... Oh, I can't destroy this, because once I've played it, it's no longer in hand. So I think I hold on to that card, actually. So we will prep the Spark. We have 3 Aether. We could get another Molten Peridot, which, just to remind everybody, says, if this is the second time you've played Molten Peridot this turn, you can destroy this. If you do, gain a card that costs 4 or less from any supply pile. So that would allow us to get these as well as potentially others that come out there. I mean, it's 2 Aether, right? The other option is we could do the Fortified Frost, which that allows us deal 2 damage, discard a card in hand, it deals an additional damage. But I think we need to be able to purchase things, so I think we go there. So that's going to be those 3, and we'll do it that way. That'll slide over and draw. So 2, don't shuffle, 3, 4, 5. And now we know that it's now the Thief's turn. Thief of Dreams Delirium turn. So, when the Delirium turn order card is drawn, unleash, and then Nemesis takes a turn as normal. All right, first things first, so we don't forget that. So it unleashes. Unleash says, draw a card from the Dream deck. Okay, and when we do that, these slide, right? There we go. All right, now they take a turn as normal. Turn as normal is go left to right, then draw a card, which we flip over the card, right? Okay. This is going to keep me from forgetting to do the Nemesis main action, which apparently I forgot to do twice on the last one, okay? All right, so first things first. Power, that comes off. Nothing else happens yet until all of those trigger. Or all those are removed. As soon as the last one's removed, it triggers. All right, Dream Devour, 8 health. That's awesome. And by awesome, I mean terrible. But I'm sure it's going to get worse. I would say before it gets better, but no, it's just going to get worse, right? All right, so 8 health. And it says, immediately place this card on space 1 of the Dream mat. Move this forward as though it were a supply card. If this moves onto the space 6 of the Dream mat, discard it, and Gravehold suffers 6 damage. Well, that sucks. So it doesn't attack, it just moves like it normally would. Okay, so that goes down to 4. Okay, easy. And remember, when a card reaches 6, I'm going to take 2 damage. So I think we need to start focusing on destroying cards or purchasing cards from here. So that is their turn. All right, we're out of the turn deck. We will shuffle. All right. So with the Peridot, you play the first one for 2 ether, second one is for 2 more, and get a ether card for 4 plus you buy with 4 ether. Yes, Marifel. That is correct. All right. Yep. Okay. Cut. Nah, we'll let it run this time. All right, here we go. Our turn. I mean, there's a 2/3 chance the first time it's going to be us. First things first, we cast if we wish. We do. 1 damage. Let's go ahead and start working on this guy, I think. So there's that. Took 1 damage there. And now what do we have? Well, we have our spark, but the Molten Peridot says if it's a second time, right, it's not. So it's just going to be 2 aether. So we could destroy a card in hand. So that's a 3. We could destroy this for a 5. We could go ahead and just purchase this card. When you gain this, if it's the second card you gain this turn, put it into your hand, gain 3 aether. So, let's see. If I play this, I destroy that. I have 2 aether left. I wouldn't be able to purchase another card for... Yes, I would. So let's do it. This is cool. I dig it. Here we go. First things first. We are going to play the Destiny Forger. Ally can destroy a card in hand. We're going to destroy, which means remove from the game, the Molten Peridot. So I gain 2 aether. Oh, no, I won't gain 2 aether. Sorry. So this is destroyed, but it's a 3, which means we're going to do that in the wrong order. Play these 2, golly, I'll get this right, for 2 aether to purchase the Fortified Frost card. Okay? That will go into our discard. That's acquiring number 1. Then we will play the Destiny Forger, destroy this, get a 5, and we'll go ahead and purchase that card. And that card says, when you gain this, if it's a second card you gain this turn, it is, place this into your hand. Okay. And now, so that is played, those are played, those are not. There we go. There we go. So now we have 3 aether to play around with. So what do we want to do with that 3 aether? Okay. Ah, you're right. Thank you. That's habit. That goes there and that goes there. And place the spells under here. If there are 3, remember not 4, 3 spells here, discard them all and deal 3 damage. Thank you for that. I forgot. And that order. There you go. 3 damage. We'll put it here. There we go. Thanks for the reminder, Jonathan. Yep, and Marifel in 87, and yes, thanks y'all. All right. So now we have 3 aether to spend. What do we want to do with it? We could go ahead and replace that Molten Peridot that we just destroyed. That seemed pretty awesome. I think that's what we do, and it allows us to keep churning through these. I think I like that idea. We could destroy that card, but I don't want to do that. Oh, and check this out. I just realized. This is an important thing. During any player's main phase, that player may spend 3 aether to destroy a supply card on the Dream Mat. What are supply cards? Cards on the Dream Mat are considered part of the supply. So that means I could theoretically use 3 aether to just destroy that. Not gonna lie, that seems pretty awesome, but I'm not gonna. I think instead, we'll go and choose to purchase that. So, that is discarded. And I can do this in any order, so let me see. That's just straight up 3 aether. I think I go there, 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 and I'll go ahead and prep that bad boy. Maybe I ought to do it this way. That way I don't forget. Okay. Yeah, that's probably a better idea. Now we'll draw 5 cards. That was a pretty great turn. All of a sudden, now, Thief of Dreams. Now, I'm going to regret saying this, but Thief of Dreams doesn't seem so terrifying. But there's that. All right. All right, next turn. Nemesis's turn. First thing we're going to do, draw a card so we don't forget. Then, oldest to newest, and then flip that card, right? Okay. All right. Remove one of those. Done. And backlash. An attack. Unleash twice, so draw 2 cards. Any player then draws a card, or Gravehold suffers 4 damage. I'm okay with the unleash twice, for right now at least, and then we get to draw a card. Cool. All right. So we draw a card. There. I'll just go ahead and put it there. That's 3 crystals. So now, unleash twice. 1. 2. All right, and that gets discarded. Okay, so he is going to reveal the top cards of the dream deck next turn. Place 2 of the reveal cards on the bottom of the dream deck and return the rest to the top of the deck in any order and then basically draw them. So, okay. So we need to get rid of cards over here. All right. Our turn. So first things first, we deal damage. So there we go. Deal 1 damage. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, so now are any of these relics? They are. That's a relic for 3. All right, so we'll prep Twisted Fang. Okay. Then gain an Aether, gain an additional that gets us a relic. So we'll play that, and we'll play this crystal as well. So that's going to be 3, which will gain us your Carnivorous Rue. Then we have 2 Aether and 2 more, which allows us 4. I can't do anything about either of those. But I could spend 3 Aether to destroy that. And if I do, then that spark will actually be spent here to get that down to 272. I think that's better. So technically that's there. And then I'll waste 1 of them to go ahead and kill him. Done. I think that works, and it buys us room. So that's all of the cards played. You're allowed to look through your discard. So now all of a sudden I do want, I actually think I'm going to go there, and then the 3 crystals there. You're not allowed to look at that, but you can look at that at any time. So then 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we need to start thinning our deck. All right. Our turn again. Twisted Fang triggers. So supply is empty. That's going to be 4 damage. So the 4 will be here to 68. Okay. Yay. Okay. So we have 3 spells. 3 damage, 2 damage. I think we go ahead and prep the Fortified Frost for next turn, and then those will go into our discard. We have 2, 3. We could destroy a card, destroy the Tornado of Insight. I really hate the idea of doing that. Our other option is we could go ahead and get another Molten Peridot. And I think that's what we do. So that is those 3 and those 2 clutter our hand. Ugh. And we draw 3 cards. Appreciate it. Leslie says love in the pink. How y'all doing today? I'm in a really good mood. Hopefully y'all are having a good day. All right. And our turn again, which means that is going to be his turn, his dream turn next. All right. First things first, we could discard a card from our hand to deal an additional damage, so a total of 3 damage, and we will. We'll go ahead and discard the Spark, so there. So that's going to be 3 damage here for 65, or down to 65. Now these 3 will go, and because we discard them, I assume, in whatever choice I want, so I'm going to choose that, there. And we're left with this. So we will prep the Vorpal Fang. We have 3. We could destroy, I think this is a bit too aggressive. Y'all tell me, what do you think? We could destroy the Vigorous Sunstone. It's worth 5, it's worth 2 extra, and we could get a Tethered Smite, and the Tethered Smite does 5 damage, divided how we want. I feel like that's a bit aggressive. Otherwise, we have 4, which 4 is kind of the crappy number, if you notice, because we have 3, 5, 5, 3, 2, 6, 7. 4 kind of sucks. You know what we could do, though, is we could open a breach. And maybe that's not such a terrible idea. Because if we open the breach, it costs 3 to open. We waste 1 of the crystals. We waste 1. That's all right. But now we'll be able to cast 2 spells every turn. So if that's the case, instead of discarding the Spark for our thing at the beginning of our turn, we'll discard a crystal and we could cast Spark on that. You know what? I kind of like that idea. So we will have 1, 2, 3. Instead of that Spark, we would have discarded the crystal. Then we'll spend 3 to open the breach. With that, and then we can prep that. I like that idea. And we didn't use the Destiny Forger this turn, so we'll put that there. That seems not terrible. Draw 4. All right, and now there. So Delirium turn, Unleash. So he's going to draw a card first. There. Now it takes his normal turn. So we're going to remove this. There. 4 cards. 2 out and then 2 at the bottom. Okay. From the Dream deck. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 of those go to the bottom and 2 will come out. So that's 1, and then that'll be 2. So what do we have? It's our choice. Looking at what we have here, we have 2 Aether and a Relic. Let's see. There are no relics out, so that's only 1. So that's 3, that's 4. Gain an Aether, destroy a card in hand to gain Aether equal to its cost. That could be 4. That would be then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Aether, potentially. 9 means that, and that would go straight into our hand. And I think we do that. Bury those 2. I think bury those in whatever order we want. So yeah, that'll work. And then these 2 will come out. Like so. All right, that card is now done. And now we have Spiraling Nightmare, power 2. So let's throw 2 on there. So, okay. Unleash, so draw a card, okay. Gravehold suffers 4 damage. If there is a card on space 5 of the dream mat, move it 1 space forward, which means I take 2 damage, okay. For the rest of the game, cards on the dream mat, skip space 5 of the what? All right, so Spiraling Nightmare. Unleash, 4 damage. If there is a card on space 5 of the dream mat, move it 1 space forward, and then the next sentence for the rest of the game, cards on the dream mat, skip space 5, is that if there's a card on space 5, that's how I read it. If there's not a card on space 5, basically disregard everything after the second sentence. I think that's how we play that. Someone can verify that, but I think that's the intent of that. So basically we need to power through this. We need to be real careful because that would be brutal. Wow. Yeah, that would be, yeah, we can't. We gotta, this is gotta be the focus, which we're gonna be able to get 2 cards out of there, but we also need to get that card out of there as soon as possible. Okay, cut there. Here we go. Wow, that's nasty, potentially. Oh God. First things first, we draw one of their cards. Okay, so we remove that. And at least, it's a normal turn, right? So we remove one of those, and now, Scion of Dreams, 10 health. Move each card, oh God, each card on the dream mat 1 space forward, and Gravehold suffers 2 damage, meaning every turn. Oh God, that's horrible. Okay, at least it doesn't happen now. We need some turns for us. Thank you. Oy vey. He needs to die. Okay, so we're choosing to do both of those. So 2 damage and 1 damage. This will go into our discard. This will go here. So that's going to be a total of 3 damage. There. That is done. Now we have our turn. Okay. Gain 1. You can destroy a card in hand to gain Aether equal to its cost. Destroy this for 4. That's 5. 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 Aether to spend. Let's look at our market, which is the one that matters that we need. So 9. Well, we could get this for 4, this for 5, and because it'll be the second card we gain, it goes into our hand, then we gain 3. Or, yeah, I think we have to power through this, right? The other option is I could spend 3 or even 2 for that. Then spend 5 for that, puts us at 7. 2 left, gain 3 more, be another 5, we could gain that one. No, I think we stay on target. I think we gain that for 4. We gain this for 5, which is all 9. Goes into our hand, then we immediately play it for 3. You know what? I think we go ahead and take the carnivorous roux, which is going to... is that what we want to do? Yeah, let's do that. We gain that. Now all of these come out. Or get played, I should say. There, and then there. Done. I really got to thin this thing. We're running a risk. We have to have one more turn before they go. Oh, you know what? Good call. Hold on. The first one that we gain there, or the last one as it were. Instead, yes, we destroy the tornado. Good call. There we go, Alex. Hey, Alyssa, good call. I love that idea. I forgot about that. And that opens things up. Excellent, excellent idea. There we go. 1, 2, 3. That's why it's a team game. It's co-op, right? 4, 5. Wow, it's a thick deck all of a sudden. Well, that's encouraging. All right. It still would have worked out, but in case not, Alex, well done. All right, so we could play a Molten Peridot for 2. Play a Molten Peridot for 2. And if it's the second time that you've played one of these, destroy this. If you do, gain a card that costs 4 or less from the supply. Okay, so we're going to destroy this, and we still have 4. We'll go ahead and add that. We're still having no casting. We need to get more spells, clearly. So we still have 4, because we've played this. 5, 6, 7. We have 7. I do. Oh, I don't know that I want to take this card off because another card will come out automatically anytime this is empty. But if it triggers, at least this goes before that. So I think that's okay. So we have 7 left. You know what? 2, 5, that goes into our hand, leaves us with 3. And we'll purchase that. There. It is. No arguments. You know what? We have 7. Let's just go ahead and do that. I like that. Yeah. I don't want to add a ton more cards to our deck, and getting powerful spells out seems like a good idea. Yep. I totally forgot about opening a breach as an option to... No, I'm going to stay on that, but yes. Remind me I have breaches to open. I can do that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we also have charges here, right? Which would allow us to place a link token on any open breach, and then that allows 2 spells on the... So yeah, I need to remember to do that. Yeah. So, good call. All right, our turn. Nothing to cast yet. Twisted Fang will go there, because I want that going into our discard. Fortify Frost can go there. We have 2 Aether, which I could get a Fortify Frost, or I could do a charge. Yeah, you know what? This is going to help us. I think so. I'm good with that. And the spark hangs out. Okay, 4 more. Yeah. All right. First things first, so we don't forget. There we go. So, unleash, that happens. Okay, so now, Spiraling Nightmare. Unleash, okay, first things first. That, and now that. Gravehold suffers for, oh, there we go. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. There we go. Unleash, done. And now, Gravehold suffers 4 damage, down to 26. Okay. If there's a card on space 5, the rest of it does not apply. There's not. Okay. Phew. That was scary. Okay. So now, that happens. Scion of Dreams, persistent. Move every card on the dream mat 1 space forward. So, that goes 1, and those go 1. And now, Gravehold suffers 2 damage. Okay. That was not as bad as it could have been. And now, because, see, I already forgot to do it, I would have. Now, Fool's Bargain. 2 discard. Discard 2 cards in hand that cost 4 Aether or more. Ouch. Power 2, okay. Unleash twice, draw 2 cards, right? Move each card on the dream mat 1 space forward. After doing that. Yeah, ouch. So that everything moves 3 spots. Ouch. Okay. Okay. This all making sense? Y'all following along? Digging it? It seems like a lot of y'all have played this before, so that's cool. And obviously that's ours. So, 4 damage because it's empty. 2 damage, and we'll discard 1. We'll discard the spark, so it's going to be 4 and 3. So, that's 7. So let's go ahead and kill that, shall we? That's dead. Good. Okay. This gets discarded. This goes under until we get a 3rd card in there. And now, this is what we have. So, Twisted Fang will go so that it makes sure there. And Spark, sure, we'll go ahead and prep that. We have 6 Aether here. It's 7 to open and 10 to open there. Or we could just go ahead and destroy that. Or we could discard both of these to get rid of that card. Oh, we could destroy 2 of these, couldn't we? We got to turn. Ah, that's a tough call. Do I destroy 2 of these? So that and one of them. Probably those, honestly. Destroy those. Or do I use these to get rid of that? Well, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to shuffle. What do y'all think? There's 4 cards there. I think I destroy 2 of them. I really do. Jonathan says, clear the power card. I mean, destroying 2 of them, I don't necessarily want to gain more Aether right now, right? Or cards that gain me Aether. So getting rid of those feels, because this unleashes twice, so it replaces those and then just slides every card once. That doesn't feel so bad if those are removed. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and do the 2 discard. Discard 2 cards, cost 4 or more. I have them. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. I apologize. I'm going to spend the 3 Aether for each of these to destroy those 2 cards. Done. That's what I wanted to do. Good. Done. Draw 5. That's 4. And don't shuffle. 5. So I'm curious, does this give anybody, I mean, obviously they're not similar, but Mage Knight, it's a fantasy theme, and the interesting combos with the way this works, this feels like a very trimmed down, like if Mage Knight feels like a step too far or a step too much, I feel like this is the step that, or this is the game that allows, that provides you with that. I think I enjoy this more than Mage Knight. I know I'm going to catch hell for that comment, but I've been thinking about this the last few days since I originally played it. And Mage Knight is just too much and takes too long for what it is, for me personally. And I think this kind of scratches that itch in a lot of ways. So, anyway, please don't flame me. Keep your comments to yourself on that, but just my honest opinion for it. All right, Nemesis happens. So, one of those get removed, and then Aether Drain. Okay, unleash twice, so let's do that. So we go 1, we go 2, okay, done. And now, the player with the most expensive gem in hand, that's me, discards, oh God, 3 cards in hand. For each card discarded that costs 0, Gravehold suffers 2 damage. Wow. So we have to discard 3 and hopefully none that are worth 0. Oh boy. Okay, so we have to discard 3. I mean, I want to keep that. The other option is I could discard those 3. And hear me. That's 1 + 1 to gain a relic in 1. That would give me 3 Aether. And that 3 Aether would allow me to acquire that, which allows me to gain a card, but I can destroy cards. And it helps me get breaches. I kind of like that idea, and Gravehold doesn't take any damage that way. So I think I discard them in that order. So I'll discard 3, and Gravehold takes no damage. I'm okay with that, I think. I'm running a risk, but there's I have a 4 in 5 chance that the next turn's going to be us. Yeah, so let's see. As I say that, glory to Rome, thief. Oh. I have failed y'all a moment. That's from last night. There should have been a lot more. Okay, so now, that sucked. All right, first things first, here, we're going to unleash, but again, so we don't forget that step. So, okay, now Jonathan, now that kind of bit me. So we unleash. That was for that. And now they take their normal turn. So now, here we go. That comes off. And here, unleash twice, and then every card moves 1 space forward. Okay. Unleash twice, there. This is not ideal. Unleash twice. Then move everyone 1 space forward. So, this says, when a supply card is pushed to 6, place it on the bottom of the dream deck, and the player, any player, or me, suffers 2 damage. So I take 2 damage right now, and then move 1 space forward. Boom! I take 4 damage total, and that goes to the bottom of the deck. Ouch. And that card goes away. I take 4 damage. Down to a nickel. Sorry, down to 6. Ow. Okay, all right. So that sucked. Oh my God, 17. Eternal Dreamer. Cards on the Dream Mat cannot be destroyed. They can be purchased, though. Okay, that's all right. Persistent. Gravehold suffers 4 damage every turn. Oh, God. Wow. Okay. That's aggressive. Jeez. Okay. Well, this is going to be difficult. Well, the good news is we know at least the next 4 turns are all ours. He's done for a while, so let's do our worst. Our spells trigger. That's 1 damage and 4 damage. And because that's the 3rd one there, I'm going to actually discard them in that order and actually put the spark there. So that is 4 plus 1 for the spark is 5. So we're getting rid of 5 of those. Done. That's done. Now, if I gain a relic, I have 3 Aether, 4 Aether, 4, and not relics. So I could do that to gain 2. And I think that's what we do. Since I can't destroy any of these, I'll just go ahead and purchase that with the 1, 2. And then we draw 5 cards. Yeah, that minion is horrible, right? Kill it with fire. I agree. Okay, well, at least there's that, a little bit. Problem is, we got nothing coming this turn. So, our turn, nothing. We're going to go ahead. I want to go ahead and discard that right away. That way it comes back quicker. But then again, I get 3 discards in a row of spells. And actually, I think I will go and put it. Yeah, but you know what? No, I want it fast. I'll put it there. Okay. Now we have 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, do we purchase that? I guess, just to be able to get it off the line. There. God, our deck is unreal, unwieldy. Jonathan says, yeah, I get a similar feel there. I far prefer Mage Knight. No contest for me, but this does have the strategic deck building combo puzzle thing. That's all I'm saying, right? That's it. Oh, no, it did not include the 3 damage from the breach. Good call. So it's 3 more damage. I forgot about, I think I may have missed that once. So be it, but that's all right. Good call. Who was that? Jonathan, well done. And Marifel, good job. Okay, so yeah, what do we have? We have 2, 3, 4, 5. Unfortunate, well, we could focus. Yeah, but the problem is, well, hold on. That was that, right? That was the 5 there. So hold on one second. So we have 5. It costs 7. Oh, well, no. It costs 4 to focus that one, and it costs 3 to focus that one. I have 5. And 7 to open and 10 to open, respectively. So we can't open them, per se. You know, what we could do, though, just floating ideas, is we could just spend those 3 crystals to go ahead and focus this and leave this for next turn, which then we might be able to open a breach, since that is 2. Yeah, so here. So that focuses that. So now it's only 5 to open. And I think I might hold on to this and allow us to do that. Yes, I like that idea. We'll see if it works out. 3, 4, it did not. But it was a good idea. All right, first things first. Oh, and that's the reason why to do it there or there, right? You know what? The extra 3 damage works like a spell, so let's actually have prepped it there. So 5 damage, divide it. No, we'll just do straight up 5 damage right there. Let's not mess around. So there's 1. Then we'll prep that there. We'll prep that there. And now we're back to 4 only. But we still have 2 turns, right? Did I draw? Damn it. Did I draw that? Slow down. Y'all let me know if I did or not. And I think I'm going to purchase that with those 4. One, 2, 3. I don't think I did flip the timer. Turn deck. So that, I believe, was for last turn, and I think that's for this turn. I can always roll one of those back if need be. Y'all tell me. I apologize. I went too quick. Well, that kind of worked out perfect. Did it? Okay, good. Thank you. All right, so we are on that last one. All right, first things first, both of those are going to fire. That's 2, and I can discard a card if I want. Do I want to? So, I prep both of those this turn. I could spend these 6 to open that breach. Or I could destroy this focus that and then spend the one of these to open it. And then I could, with the other 3, use the damage there. That would be 4 damage. I think that's what I do. So as crazy as this might sound, I'm going to discard this for the Fortified Frost. So that's 3 damage, and 1 is 4 damage. Dead with fire. It's dead. Well, fire and frost, as it were. Thank God. So that never got a chance to fire. That's good. Okay. So now, that goes there, and this gets discarded. Now, the Carnivorous Rue, I will go ahead and destroy it. Focus your closed breach with the lowest focus cost twice. Unfortunately, I can only do that once. There. Done. That's destroyed. Now, that breach is going to cost 3 to open. I'll spend that 3 to do so, and that one is now open and +1 damage when I cast. So now, pretty obvious, we'll put 1 there and we'll put 1 there. So that'll be 4, that'll be 5, and another 3 for 12 damage. Hot damn, now we're cooking with fire. Cooking with gas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like it. I actually really like this Nemesis. I think this is an awfully clever mechanism. You know, another way to, just another puzzle to solve. I think that is really fantastic. So we're just going to kind of mix these up a little so that they're not all right next to each other. There we go. Yeah, this is pretty fantastic. I mean, I get it. I realize that, I mean, Mage Knight is most people's #1 solitaire for a reason. I get it, but this scratches a very, very good solitaire itch for me, and kind of brings the fantasy feel to it without a lot of the overhead that does. So let's go, you know what? Let's go there for a cut. All right, here we go. Our turn. All right, so now 3 + 1 is empty, so that's 4 for this. +1 for that is 5. 4 for this, which is 9, and then we get 3 more for all of it for a total of 12, and we'll discard them like that. 12 damage goes down to 53. There we go. I'm not sure if you could have used the Carnivorous Rue. It says specifically focus as opposed to open. So I didn't know if you could, Stacy. Oh, you think you could? Okay. Well, if that's the case, then I would have had 3 focus left to be able to use. And honestly, I probably just would have destroyed that because that thing was dead. So, okay. Easy enough. I'll defer to y'all. So now, what do we got here? We got 3 places we can cast 3 things. So, that makes sense to put that there for the +1. Might as well put that there, and might as well put that bad boy right there. Okay. So now, we have 2 Aether. Go and get a charge. Can't really do anything with it. So that seems all right to me, because that's going to allow us to double up, right? So that seems good. Yeah, I dig that. So there's 4, because can't do anything with the spark. I really want to start destroying some cards now, because, like, those suck, right? All right, draw a card. This is fun. I like taking 6 turns in a row. That's cool. So if it's cast from his consuming breach, it is. That's 2 damage. So there's 2. 3, 4, and we'll go ahead and discard 1, 2, 3, 4 to be able to. Now I don't want to clear that. I only need 3 for a relic, so I will discard the crystal for that. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 3, 4, and 5. So that's going to be a total of 10 damage. Down to 43. Okay. Get those there. 1 and 2 if it's on a relic, and 3. And I'll go ahead and take that because it is a relic. And that'll go there. Put those there and call that good. 5 turns, or 5 cards. Oof. Okay. I mean, that seems fair, right? So first things first, so we don't forget. Then we do that for the Dreamer, for that. And now, Siphon Memories. Players collectively place 3 cards in hand that cost 1 or more on top of the Dream deck. Then unleash 3 times. Oh yeah, that should have gone there, obviously, right? 3 cards in hand that cost 1 Aether or more. Well, collectively, that's all we can do. Oh, I'm sorry, on top of the Dream deck. So that's the only one we can do, so that's the only one we do. And then unleash 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Yeesh. So that happened. Okay. And done. Okay. That kind of hurt, but okay. 4. All right, so here we got 2. I could discard 1 for 3, 4, and that's 5. And I think we do go ahead and discard 1. So that's going to be 5 damage to 38. Then we have 3 crystals. So hold on. We'll go there. That gets tucked. And then these 3 to destroy. Yeah, I think we destroy that. I hate doing that, though. But we got to get this stuff out of here. I would like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, well, we got nothing to cast, unfortunately. We do have that. We have that. And we have 6 Aether. I could destroy 2 of these because we know it's going to be his turn. I'm going to put that because mark it, right? Oh, I actually have 8, don't I? Huh. So I could destroy 2 or I could grab 2. And I think I'll grab that one and that one. So 3, 6, 8. I'll grab both of those. Or that. yeah, damage, deck thinning. Boy, that's, yeah, all right. So we'll leave that one and we'll buy that one, the Destiny Forger instead. There. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. All right. Yeah, we have got to get rid of these crystals and the sparks. And now we know it's his turn. All right. So his turn says, just straight up normal turn, Chaos Strike. Notice this is an upgraded basic now. Unleash. Gravehold suffers 4 damage. Any player gains a Curse Shard from the Curse deck and places it on top of their deck. So Curse Shard, that. I'll show you all that here in a minute. There we go. All right, Unleash first. There. Gravehold suffers 4 damage. It's a third of the way dead. Okay? And then, Curse Shard says, gain an Aether, place this on top of your deck, or 2 to destroy it. Okay. And that goes on top of their deck. So that goes there, and that's dead. Okay. All right. Let's shuffle. Have a good one, Bart. Thanks for hanging out. Okay, and now we'll cut, do that. All right, done. All right, awesome. There, don't forget. And that. Now he takes his normal turn. All right. I don't like when he gets back-to-back turns. Rescind, another upgraded basic. Unleash twice. The player with the most expensive prep spell discards that spell and suffers 2 damage. Oh, come on! Oh, damn it. Unleash twice. That sucks. Okay, this is getting hard. Really, really hard now. And he's still got 38 health. All right, so I suffer 2 damage for that. Then I discard the most expensive spell, so that gets discarded, so that doesn't, oh, that hurt. That's just straight up nasty. And I take 4 damage total. I'm down to 2. Oh, that was unkind. That was unkind. Okay. Our turn. Well, that triggers for 2. Well, hold on. I shouldn't say it's our turn. Oh, it's not our turn. Glory to Rome. That's 80% favorite. Not today. All right. This is fun. Play Aeon's End, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Hunt the Weak. Any player suffers 3 damage and Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Well, that's bad news for us. Down to 17 here. And we suffer 3 damage. So what happens? We are now exhausted. First off, when we become exhausted, Gravehold suffers 5 damage instead of the Unleash twice. Okay, Gravehold's down to 12. That escalated quickly. Then, destroy one of our breaches. Okay, how about the one that's not open? Done. Discard all of your charge tokens. At least it's only one of them. And then deal excess damage, double, to Gravehold. Well, he takes 2 more damage because one of it didn't. There we go. So now, anytime I would take damage, Gravehold takes double that. That was fun. Okay. Well, 4 turns. 1. 2 damage. He takes 36. Then, prep. 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 And we have 3 Aether. We just got to focus on destroying. So let's just kill that. I don't need more Aether here. Hey! What is it? Anilka? Oh, good. Oh, awesome. We got a playtester here. Awesome. All right. So that is done. All right. Draw 5. This is going to be tight, but it always should be, right? Oh, yay. Our friend the curse. Right. It feels like a month since I put that on there. All right. First things first. There. Now, 3, 4, plus 3 is 7. 8, 9, 10 if I discard something. I choose to discard that. So, 4, 7, 10. And then 5 more plus 1 is 16. Down to 20. That's better. And now discard these in what order? We'll go there. We will go there, those, and that. Prep. Prep. So that's 2 Aether, which sucks for us. I guess we'll use just the regular 2 Aether to put a charge down, and that will go like that. Done. At least there's that. Leica. All right. Oof. Oof. Ouchie. All right. There. 2, I can discard 1. That'll probably be a crystal. So that's 3 damage. 3, 6, 7, that's 8 damage. Down to 12. We will prep that. You know what? Makes more sense to prep it there, actually, I think. And then we have 3 here. We'll go ahead and destroy that. Done. 1. Don't shuffle. 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to come down to the next turn order, isn't it? Woo. We'll see how it goes. All right, so this is us. So that will deal 1 damage, down to 11. And now, prep, because that's going to be a total of 7. All right, so Destiny Forger says you can destroy a card in hand. So I'll play this, destroy that, and that's 2 more than the destroyed card, and put it into our hand. I choose that. That'll go into hand. Then we will prep it there. That's 7, 10, 11, 14 damage. If our turn is next, we win. If. And we have 4 left here. Between that, let's just go ahead and destroy that for 3 and waste the other. Done. 5 cards, which this should be moot. Here we go. And we'll just mix those up there. Okay, we will cut. Because it can't ever be simple. There, and now he takes his normal turn. Oh boy, here we go. Silent Decay. To discard, spend 8 Aether. Power 2. Well, that's good news for us. Unleash twice. Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Any player gains a Cursed Bolt from the Cursed deck and places it on top of their deck. All right. Well, we got an 80% shot now for us. Hot damn, we go into Sizzler. 5, 6 damage. 7, 8, 9. 10. And boom, 13. He did. We win. That was excellent. So now, Leica, I'm curious. So this here says when the spell put it under the breach, if there are 4 spells, the rulebook says 3. I'm curious because it was tense, but I'm curious whether or not that should be 3 or 4. I deferred to the rulebook because I thought the rulebook would be more recently updated than that. So I'm curious about that. But overall, yeah, that was excellent. That was great. That was a lot of fun. Y'all saw that though. I realized we only did a little bit of the expansion stuff. Like in a single stream, we're not going to be able to do both past and future, right? So it's a campaign game if you want it to be, or you can do one-offs like what we've been doing here. And yeah, the amount of content and the amount of replayability the game has, awesome. So if you want more for your Aeon's End, go check out the Kickstarter link down below. If you all enjoyed it, certainly would appreciate a thumb, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Consider supporting the show. That's how we keep the lights on. Need to get the Patreon number back up. I certainly would appreciate your support. Patreon.com/HCHQ. Yeah, there you go. That's it. Be back tomorrow with more solo gaming goodness for yourselves. And Leica can always post in the comments down below with the answer to that question. I am really, really curious. But that said, yeah, it flows really well. Y'all saw. I mean, if you're a solo gamer, I think there's a lot here that you're going to like. Whether you're into fantasy or not, I think it still works either way. Okay, apparently it was 3. Sounds like. So we played that right. Yay. All right, that's it. I'm out of here. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Enjoy some sunshine if you can do so. And yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow. All right, take care, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. That was a fun afternoon. A good way to spend a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. And yes, confirm 3 spells.